My name is Raina Burns, and I'm doing a presentation on poison oak. The scientific name for poison oak is Toxicodendron diversilobum, and the oil that hurts our skin is called urushiol. And when I chose this plant, I chose it because I was thinking that I was choosing an invasive plant. And I thought that poison oak was an invasive plant. When I did more research, I found out that it's actually a native plant, native to North America, ranging from other areas as well, like Baja California, Mexico, Canada. But it's native to these places, also southeastern United States, and it's commonly confused with poison ivy, which is Toxicodendron radicans. But today we're talking about Toxicodendron diversilobum, and it does have the urushiol in it, and that's the chemical compound that will make us itch. Now, how do you spot poison oak? It's about 3 feet tall. The leaves are green and waxy looking, and they have red on them. They're also in threes, so the leaves are cloves of three. And when I thought that it was an invasive plant, and I found out that it's a native, and I also found out that there's some good to it. I found out that animals can take refuge in it. Small mammals, birds find shelter, and other wildlife. It has valuable food for deer, and the leaves, they have berries, and they nourish the animals with them. And there's all kinds of birds within California. And that's really good to know because we see that if there is a forest fire and many of the woods burn, what happens is that the first thing to grow back is poison oak. And when it grows back, it sets root into the soil and actually prepares a way for other plants to be able to grow. Not only does it do that, but if there is a flood and there's animals like turtles and they need to find refuge, they will go and find refuge within the poison oak leaves. They are protected from humans like us, and that get like what happens with us is we get affected by this urushiol, and we get a rash, and we have a lot of painful spots all over us, and so therefore we stay away from this plant. And in staying away from it, the animals are also protected from humans and can find nests and refuge within the plant. Now, what happens if we get poison oak on us? Then we need to make sure to take care of the rash and use cold compresses for about 15 to 20 minutes throughout the day to relieve some of the pain and the irritation. We can use calamine lotion, topical antihistamines, hydrocortisone, oral antihistamines like Benadryl. Those are different things that will help us if we've come in contact with poison oak. Now, if you do find poison oak in your backyard, the best way to get rid of it is in the spring or in the fall when the soil is still moist and wet. What you do is put gloves on, rubber gloves, and you also make sure that your clothing is thick and you're protected in layers. Then you go out there and you dig up the plant and you remove it. And the soil that remains will be sifted through and it'll be ready for new plants to be planted there. So poison oak is native. It's not an invasive plant. It has a good side, and it's important for us to know that it can also spread, and it can be a surprise if we find it. So we have to be attentive and make sure to pay attention to this plant that can be harmful for humans, but a protector for the animals. I think it's wonderful that it's beautiful, and it's in the spring. It brings colorful flowers, and the birds find refuge in it, animals find refuge in it, but that it's toxic to humans. So it's amazing. Even though we don't like it, if we were to try to get rid of it for good, the ecosystem would diminish, and would it would be difficult for the animals to survive the way that they have been, because they will lose protection along with food nourishment. But I have attached 3 different places where I found this information along with some pictures, and I hope you stay away from poison oak, but you leave it there for the animals to enjoy, and that you know that it is a good plant, even if it can't be our best friend, but it can help us in the process of this life and journey here on earth. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for the time that you've shared here.